2 years ago, I spent about 220,000 euros buying this house in a small village in Portugal. At the time, that amount of money could have bought me close to 8 Bitcoin.
8 Bitcoin.
Today, those 8 Bitcoin would be worth over $800,000. So, do I regret buying the house? Let me show you around a bit and I'll tell you the full story. So I bought this house as a secondary property. It was never meant to be my main residence. I already had a place to live. I bought this with cash I had sitting in the bank that I knew was losing value fast due to inflation. At the time, we were deep in the last bear market, and to be brutally honest, Bitcoin wasn't exactly looking appealing. Like many people, I just didn't have the confidence to invest more into it. But I did already own some Bitcoin. What I didn't have back then was something tangible, something I could actually touch and use. And there was this persistent feeling in the back of my mind, what if I ever needed a backup place to live? I didn't want the uncertainty of renting in a market where good rentals are few and far between. So instead, I bought this place. It's in a quiet Portuguese village, about 12 minutes from a popular coastal resort town. It's peaceful, relaxed, and honestly, I fell in love with it the moment I stepped inside. I knew immediately that I wanted to buy it. So let's start by breaking the numbers down. When I bought this house in early 2023, 8 Bitcoin would have cost around 220,000 euros. And that's what I paid for this house, including the associated fees, taxes, expenses, and renovation costs. It's an old village house. It's been renovated to include 4 bedrooms, 5 bathrooms, and it has 3 floors. For those who aren't familiar with the Portuguese property market, it has absolutely skyrocketed in recent years. And generally, it's a lot more expensive than similar properties in, say, Spain or France. So I feel like I can fairly make this comparison between property and Bitcoin because I paid for this house with cash. I didn't get a mortgage. If I'd required a mortgage to buy, this wouldn't have been a good comparison at all because a bank was never going to lend me any money to buy Bitcoin anyway. So I had the capital to deploy, and I could have equally spent it on this house or Bitcoin or anything else that I wanted. But today, in mid-2025, Bitcoin is trading around $105,000. So if I bought Bitcoin with that money instead, I'd now be sitting on over 800,000 US dollars. This house, I'd be lucky if I could get 250,000 euros for it, to be frank. And yeah, I'll admit, that stings a little. With $800,000 today, I could buy a house like this and still have more than 4 Bitcoin left over. But there were 2 things that I didn't have when I bought this house. First, I didn't have a crystal ball with accurate Bitcoin price predictions. And second, at that time, I didn't have the knowledge or the experience. I'd only been investing in Bitcoin for 2 years, and it was my first bear market. I didn't understand Bitcoin well enough to feel confident putting more money into it. Let me tell you a horror story. Not long after I bought this house, the roof started leaking. I was abroad, and whilst I was gone, there was a series of storms and heavy rain. The water came in through the old roof and leaked into the 60-year-old ceilings, and they basically just collapsed. I wasn't here, so I didn't know. By the time I got back, everything was moldy, and there were new and undiscovered species of mushrooms sprouting out of my ceiling. So this was not just a small leak. The whole structure needed replacing, as in the contractors had to remove the entire roof and the beams and the upstairs ceilings and replace it all. So I took the opportunity to renovate the old attic into a big open living space, which is now one of my favorite parts of the house. But it cost a lot of time and money and a fair bit of stress. Insurance wouldn't pay, of course, because I couldn't prove that the leak wasn't already there when I took out the policy. Anyway, luckily for me, that story eventually had a happy ending, and now I have a watertight roof and a beautiful attic space. So what about renting it out for income? When I bought this house, it already had a short-term rental license, because in Portugal, if you want to do vacation rentals or Airbnb, you need a license. So I tried it, and let me tell you, I do not love doing short-term rentals. Airbnb is not for me. There's a lot of tax and bureaucracy. I have to collect 2 different types of tax, register every guest with the government, keep the license up to date, and be present for check-ins and check-outs. When guests stay, there's cleaning, laundry, and all the rest of it. And frankly, I hate touching strangers' dirty laundry. It's a whole lot of work for me. I don't really think it's worth it. I've even had guests who ran up such huge utility bills that they almost completely wiped out any profit I would have made from their stay. So essentially, they stayed for free. On top of that, as you may have already gathered, this is an old house. There's always something that needs maintenance, patching walls, dealing with the saltpeter that comes up through the ground, and repainting it endlessly. Oh, and the final nail in the coffin? If I sell this property, I'm liable for capital gains tax of 28%. But if I sell Bitcoin, no capital gains tax. So would I make the same choice today? No, probably not. If I were in the same situation right now as I was in 2023, with cash sitting in the bank and deep in a bear market, I'd buy more Bitcoin. Because today I understand it better. I've seen what happens when conviction grows, and I've learned how rare of an opportunity a bear market really is, and the sort of guts and conviction that it takes to buy when everybody else is running away. But back then, I didn't have that knowledge. And like everyone else, I didn't know what would happen next. There was so much uncertainty. From a purely financial standpoint, it was a terrible trade-off. As of today, I forewent over $500,000 in profit by buying this house. I have to pay taxes, maintenance costs, insurance, and capital gains tax if I sell. But my answer is still no, I don't regret buying it. First, I think it's unproductive to regret the things that you can't change. I know you'll see a lot of Bitcoin maxis yelling on YouTube that you should never buy property and you should sell everything you have and just buy Bitcoin to hold it forever and ever. But I think this fails to address other reasons why people choose to own property. This house gave me something I needed at the time: peace of mind, a backup plan, something real, something tangible. It gave me an emotional anchor when I wasn't sure where things were going. And I love the house. It's not just any old property that I bought to profit off. It's just a perfect little house to me. When I come here, I feel at home and I know that everything here is mine 100% and nobody else can touch it. So, was buying this house instead of Bitcoin a mistake? Maybe financially, but personally, no. I followed my instincts and this house gave me something that Bitcoin couldn't at the time. But now I have both. I have some Bitcoin and I have this house. Both of them will provide security for the future, just in different ways. Would you have done the same? Let me know in the comments. Would you have chosen to buy a house or to buy Bitcoin? So if you like this video and you got something out of it, and you want to see more If you like this video and you got something out of it and you want to see more Bitcoin content just like this, hit like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. You can also sign up for my newsletter. It's free and it helps you make sense of Bitcoin without all the jargon. Thanks for watching. Keep stacking Bitcoin and see you in the next video.